Hi Leo, I hope that you're all doing well. We are here with your reading, what you need to know for February. The first card that we have out is the World. The World indicates a major cycle that is closing out, and it also speaks about a very big brand new chapter that is beginning. This can also show that you have accomplished something, that you have completed something, and that you are on to the next chapter now. I'm seeing Ace of Cups. This also indicates a new chapter. I'm seeing Ace of Cups and I'm seeing Ten of Swords. Okay, what this can mean is that there can be something that's going on here. When we have Ace of Cups, it speaks about potential for connection and to grow that and be something that we're leaning into. Having Ten of Swords can indicate that closing out. So there was potential for a chapter and this is something that can grow, but then having the Ten of Swords there can indicate that this is something that's not going to be happening anymore. So it's kind of like having the chapter and there being potential there for something to happen, but then having that Ten of Swords means that that's not going to end up happening. It's like potential that didn't actualize. And having Temperance on the bottom of the deck, I'd say this is a coming to terms with that process. When we have an Ace of Cups, there can be this feeling of a lot of potential being there and a lot of promise being there. And then having the Ten of Swords can be, okay, well, that's not going to be happening. And then going to spend time recovering from that. Like Ten of Swords is when it all comes to an end. This is the second time I've seen the Tower on the bottom of the deck, so I'd say that this was pretty unplanned. So unexpectedly, I'm seeing a new chapter that is beginning. Like this brings you into a new space, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's happening on the emotional end for you. You can be feeling anxious about the chapter that's popping up. I feel like there's still stuff that you're moving through. Okay, with the World, there can be some tough lesson that you've been going through, like something that you're learning from, but it can be something difficult because I'm seeing the World be connected with Three of Swords and Ten of Swords. So this can be a time where you're like, okay, I've learned the lesson from it. And also there's a lot of pain that I'm still dealing with that's associated with this. But then to have the Ten of Swords, I'd say like technically the situation is over, like the actual situation. But as far as you dealing with it, that can be something that you're still processing. And this can be a chapter where that is what you're processing. Like that may be what this is about. And there can be healing that's involved in this as well. I feel like this is a chapter where you're actually going to be healing wounding, healing pain. And that is what this can be giving to you. It can help you come out of more of a freezed state here. There may still be some resistance to looking at this. I'm getting confirmation of that. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of confirmation. See how this Eight of Swords is looking away from the Three of Swords? Three of Swords feels like needing to be present to that in order to work through it. But that Eight of Swords can be like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. And I feel like I'm like stuck here where I have to face it, but I'm doing everything that I can not to. Like it can be something where you're like, well, I know that I can't move from here unless I look at this, but I don't want to look at it because, you know, the Three of Swords, it hurts. It can feel painful. And also too, only by moving through that are you going to get to the other side of it, but it can be something that maybe you really, really don't want to look at. Just because of what this brings up. This has to do with relationship stuff. I'm seeing Four of Wands here. Learning from relationships. I'm also hearing learning from belonging. I get that there's some type of discrete conflict that you're going through. However, I'm seeing Pisces here. And I'm also seeing Saturn. What I'm seeing as well be going on here within this is that behind the moon there is the Five of Wands, and I'm seeing you coming out as King of Cups here. What this means is that there is an internal battle that you are going through right now. There is an internal conflict that you are experiencing, that you are working through, and it feels like it's happening maybe more on an unconscious level. Or this is just something that you can be keeping deeply within you. Behind the moon is usually like what's sort of in the dark that we are beginning to bring light to. There can be a big emotional conflict that you're going through, that you're experiencing. But having that Five of Cups on top of it feels almost like you may be being kind of stoic about it, but on the inside there's a very different story that's connected with what's going on. I'm seeing some anxiety that's there. I am seeing there almost being like this shutdown feeling. And even though I'm seeing the Ace of Cups be there, it can be something where you're like, I'm so frozen about this that I can't even feel that. I can't even feel the Ace of Cups being there. So even though this can be, I'd say like 2 new chapters that could be beginning here, it feels like what's happening is that this is about healing, and that this is also a chapter where there's something very unknown that's being explored here. So this can be a new chapter that's beginning and you're like, I don't know where this is going to go. It can also be a new chapter that's beginning where there's some unconscious stuff that you're going to be exploring, and it has to do with emotional conflict that is within you, right, residing within you. Simultaneously, I will say with the Five of Wands, you may not be totally completely aware of this. It can be something that you're partially aware of, but you're like gaining more awareness of, because it can be something that's like somewhat repressed, even with King of Cups above it and the moon on the side of it, like sort of pushing it in. I feel like this is something that's going on within you that hasn't totally come up to be recognized fully. But that's also what this new chapter is about. It feels like it's bringing up, I feel like this is very heavy stuff to be happening like just in the month of February, but what I'm getting is that this new chapter that's beginning for you, it feels like it's helping you work out squares that you experience, work out conflicts, work out stuff that action is needed and change is needed. And this can be the beginning of a lot of shifts that are going to be occurring for you. Like just a lot of stuff that needs to be taken care of, a lot of stuff that needs to be addressed, a lot of turmoil that you can be experiencing within, that this is going to allow this to settle so you don't have to be walking around with that restless feeling anymore. And there can be this part of you that's like, no, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm getting that King of Cups, Eight of Swords, and the World. The World above is Saturn being like, you have nowhere else to go. This is something that you need to deal with. But there can be this part of you that's like, oh, I want to do anything besides having to deal with this right now. The thing is that like there's going to be healing and connection that's involved in this. But right now, if there has to be like a thawing out that's happening, what it can be is just feeling like, wow, this is just a lot of pain that I'm experiencing. So you don't get necessarily the joy of feeling it's kind of like if you're already in a place where things have leveled out and there are no injuries, it's like this. On an emotional level, you can be kind of numb to certain things in some capacity, or there can be like a turning off or like a repressing that's been happening. When you turn those feelings on again, but there are wounds, the first thing that you're going to feel is the stuff that's most intense. And so it feels like those are the things immediately, like the floodgates just open. So rather than turning on the feeling or like opening your heart up and it feeling nice, it feels like the first thing that you experience is like a lot of the pain that's been there, that it can be like all this resisting we've been doing to experiencing that. And it feels like it's, for some of you, this is connected with a very specific event as well. That has happened. It's not something that's happening, it's something that has already happened. This new chapter is going to be about exploring this. So basically, you're opening yourself up to a part of yourself that you've been closed off about so you can resolve this conflict that's within you. And so you can get to where you want to be. This is going to allow you to achieve. This is going to allow you to stabilize. This is going to allow you to have that comfort there and to feel settled. And that's what all of this is about. Simultaneously, this can be something where it feels like most excruciating, most painful initially. And then you're like, wow, I can't imagine my life like having this part of myself shut off or like closed off. So eventually this is going to be like the biggest gift, but right now it can be feeling like the most like daunting thing. And I do get the sense that this brings up like a lot of painful stuff. And for some of you, it has to do with painful relational things that are coming up. And exploring like these unknown conflicts and unknown turmoil. And this can also be too like places where you can contradict yourself as well, where like, because we have Five of Wands, this can be like emotionally you can be in one place and then your action can do another thing, and then there's an incongruence there. That's also something that this can be exploring as well. Yeah. But this is like, you are going to majorly benefit from going through this. This is something that's going to help you feel like you are actually in a place of peace emotionally, and you will feel that within you. Like there won't be that depression there won't be that dread there will be this feeling of like all being right within your heart. And that is what this is going to be. This is something that's going to go far beyond just the month of February, but this can be the breaking in to this. And initially it can be something where I feel like even on an unconscious level you sort of know how big this is, what it is that you're getting into. And also too, you are going to, as you're moving through this is going to be a really eye-opening time that you look back at and say like, this was actually a huge gift to me. But again, like that may not be your perspective now moving through this, but just know that this is opening up your life to you. And this is going to help you harmonize on a level of feeling, emotionally, psychologically, in a way that hasn't been so for a very, very long time. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.